Alrighty, good evening, Randomania, and welcome to another exciting Crystalis randomizer race. I am Matrick. You probably had seen me if you've been watching the rest of the marathon here, as I was part of the 7th Saga randomizer race earlier in the marathon. Tonight we have Tornell 357 and Sho Fukamachi going off with each other. There was a tournament of this not long ago, so if you caught any of that, you'll have an idea of what you're looking at. And that's a Sword of Thunder start straight into a Bow of Moon, so that's already two great items right off the bat. For starters, that bow is going to be required as one of the 3 items necessary to finish the game, as well as requiring all of the swords. So getting a Sword of Thunder right off the bat not only opens up the extra warp location there to the town of Chiron you saw him warp to, but it also gives them a really nice offensive ability, as the Sword of Thunder has a nice spread shot with its level 1 charge. If you have never seen Crystalis before, Crystalis is an action RPG for the NES. It is a level-based, high exploration game. The base game is primarily a linear experience. However, for the randomizer here, we've actually made a number of massive changes to the game, and we've grossly opened up the pathways through the game. And what this does is this turns it from more of a linear experience into something more akin to what you would see with a Zelda or a Metroid. So now they've got this big, large world that's open available to them, and the only thing that's blocking them is the progressionary items that are necessary. This means the turn-in items, the different swords that blow open the walls, and some of these other things. You notice that right away they got 2 items off the bat, and then they got a 3rd item because they happened to get the Sword of Thunder to go straight for Chiron, but then they were able to go over here to the town of Portoa, where they were able to sneak past the guard there using a statue glitch, and able to get another item from the Queen. Here's the fun part now. So now, one of the flags that's on in this particular flag set is that the actual walls are randomized. So which caves they have access to, they aren't going to know until they've had an opportunity to be able to get into the cave and actually explore it. Now, when the tournament happened, they were using the finals flag set here for this race. Now, during the tournament, randomized maps were on. But randomized maps can really add to the length of the game. So, for the sake of the marathon here, we have disabled randomized maps, and the maps are all going to be the same. So, if you're familiar with the game, you'll know what they're looking at. And it turns out the first cave, the Waterfall Cave here, is a Thunder-accessible cave. So, getting an orb of water right there on Tornell's side, we have getting a little bit of combat upgrades. Now, normally in the base game, Sho is going to take a different path, but in the base game, you actually normally require the level 2 charge in order to break down walls. But this is something that happens in the randomizer, where we have an option to make it so that the level 1 charges are sufficient for breaking down walls, which is not something you would see in the normal game. So, also having access, behind Zebu there, you saw Sho go left instead of right like Tornell did. He's going to get access to Cordell Plains here at the beginning, so that's going to give him some additional checks. Tornell has opted to go towards the Waterfall Cave, which has 3 items in it. Potentially 4 if he happens to find the Flute of Lime to cure the Stone Friend Akahana. I call him friend, but really he's a huge jerk, like his good buddy Kensu. So, we hope to never have to see him. That's an antidote, completely unimportant, unless they get poisoned early. And the reason that's important early is because poison never goes away in this game. Status effects are actually extraordinarily dangerous. So with the exception of petrification, poison, paralysis, and curse, they do not go away unless specific conditions are met. Meaning you either... Nice! Flail guys! Oh, I know Tornell's loving seeing those. The status effects, they go away only when overwritten by another status effect, or you utilize the item that's necessary to cure it. And I actually missed what our good buddy Akahana there in Brynmare was asking for. It's hard, this game moves so fast, as you've noticed, it's really hard to watch both screens at one time. So I'm going to do the best that I can here to see what, to try to keep track of things as we go. I did notice that Sho picked up a fog lamp there in Cordell Plains at the normal Onyx statue spot, and that's a windmill key. Tornell's immediately going to utilize the Wild Warp there, which is going to take him back to the beginning town, and he knows he's going to be able to use that windmill key to get access to a whole bunch of additional items. So that's a big one. He gets one item when he walks inside the cave at the normal refresh location, and then there are another handful of chests that he has access to, even if he doesn't have the correct sword to be able to finish the cave out. So this is a big find right off the bat. Now, if Mount Saber South turns out to be a bust for show, then, you know, he's going to have to head to that waterfall cave, and Tornell's going to have a really nice early advantage here simply due to his routing. So heading into the windmill cave here, there's just a short little jaunt over here, and he's going to walk into the windmill, and we'll see if he decides to wild warp or if he's going to walk it. He's going to wild warp and head back over there. I notice over here on Show's side, he does have access to Mount Saber South with this Thunder Sword, which is fantastic, but there are robots crawling all over this place. Now, normally robots are an enemy you would only see in the very final area of the game at the tower, and you will see them in the tower here as things go on, but there's a combat upgrade for Tornell, getting that Ball of Thunder, and that's going to provide him with additional damage, because swords are actually normalized within the randomizer. So every sword, the power of the sword is based on the upgrade level. If you only have a level 1 charge, then your sword's going to do 2 damage a hit. If you have a level 2 charge, it's going to do 4 damage. And if you have a level 3 charge, it's going to do 8. From there, you know, the actual charge attacks have been balanced as well. Multi-hit attacks are going to be slightly weaker than, you know, individual hitting attacks. And the level 3 attacks have also been rebalanced to ensure that the, you know, the things like fire and thunder don't just completely destroy the game. Although we're probably still going to see them using fire and thunder when it comes to the end of the game whenever possible. And that's a Mimic! Mimic! We love seeing Mimics in this game. Any treasure chest has a chance to be a Mimic. There are exactly 12 of them in the base game. So having the Mimic show up means that that's a chest that they don't get to do anything with, and they don't get any items, and the Mimic will respawn forever. Mimics do, however, hold a ton of cash, so if you can kill them, they are worth killing because they're worth a ton of money. You'll notice that's a warrior ring. Oh, baby! So leveling up and combat are not going to be a problem for our runners here. That warrior ring allows you with every swing to use a level 3 charge, and I mean a level 1 charge, so that's going to greatly upgrade their offense. I saw Show found a ball of wind there. Not that that's going to help him out at this point until he gets the Sword of Wind, but he's now going to head over to that waterfall cave. I did not, however, see whether either one of them has checked Rage yet, once they got that Thunder Sword, so it is possible that Rage here does have an item for him, but it looks like neither one of them is going to check it. It looks like Show did find the Fruit of Lime, the most useless item in the entire game, and he did quickly throw it on the ground, which is the correct choice. And there is our Sword of Water. Tornell is making all the right plays at the moment, and all of his choices are paying off. And that butterfly there, what a champion. Immediately bashing Tornell back into the cave when he comes outside. That is the kind of stuff we like to see. Show's going to pick up a pair of warp boots here. It's going to be nice for him because he's going to be able to use that to get back to a town. And we're going to get to see our first boss here. This is the Vampire. He is also known for his RNG as he just randomly teleports around the room. But that warrior ring is going to make real quick work of him. And Tornell is going to be rewarded with a broken statue. The broken statue, when combined with the glowing lamp, is going to provide them with an item that will get them access to the north side of the ocean. So we may actually not have an early flight seed. This could be awesome. Since I haven't mentioned it yet, the items that are necessary in order to complete the game are going to be the 4 swords. You need the Bow of Sun, the Bow of Moon, and the Bow of Truth, as well as the Flight spell. So once they find all those items, all they have to do is kill all of the major bosses in the game, which means all of the Dragonian generals and Dragon 1 in the pyramid. And those are the bosses that are necessary in order to get Dragon 2 to spawn, along with collecting all the swords, as I mentioned. So, Tornell here, with that Sword of Water, also has access to getting across river shallows, as the Sword of Water will freeze the river, as you're about to see here. And he's going to have access to Amazonas. Show, meanwhile, is making his way now into the waterfall cave. He is going to find the items that are necessary for him to make progress, namely that windmill key over on the right side. 120 gold at 11 scaling. Scaling is something I haven't mentioned yet. So in this game, in order to continue to make sure that all of the areas are relevant throughout the entire game, what we've done is we've created a system where as you collect the key items that are unique within the game, that counter that you see to the right of where their level is, lady, you have a mimic in your basement. Why is there a man-eating chest in your basement? Well, that's partly because of unluck, but this is also the town of Amazonas, which is a town of all women that hate men. So having a man-eating chest in the basement, I am not surprised. Going back to the scaling value here, at the bottom right corner, as I mentioned, every time you collect a unique item, that scaling value increases. What this does is this decreases the price of items or armor and shields in armor shops, and it increases the price of inns and all the items, as well as increasing the HP and damage, as well as experience and gold drops of all of the enemies in the game. And that flashed so fast across my screen, I did not see what our good buddy Rage there was holding. The major thing that unlocking Rage does is it also provides access to the Queen of Portoa becoming Asina, or revealing herself as Asina, so you get an extra item there, and you get the dolphin item. Storm Bracelet, is that what it was? Really, a level 3 sword already? That's pretty fantastic. Tornell getting paralyzed there, taking advantage of a glitch within the game where if you set a checkpoint and then reset the game, your status effects are not kept on the game, you know, with the rest of your stats. So all status effects are temporary if you can set a checkpoint and reset it. So Sho setting his windmill key, he's going to make his way into the windmill now. I did notice that there was an iron necklace that was picked up there, as well as, you know, we saw that fog lamp on the ledge. So they're going to have access to some different things. We'll see what Asina and the dolphin here have. This will be interesting, as this is a new progressionary spot. Also, you may notice that river there is slightly separated. There's actually two reasons for this. Creating that break in the river prevents players from soft-locking themselves if they were to get early access to the dolphin. She had a consumable, but she also says that if you clear the ocean, you're going to learn the magic of teleport. So that's a nice bit of information to know there, because when they're able to get that glowing lamp to go with that broken statue, Fruit of Power, womp womp. Well, Fog Lamp Cave looks like it might be our next play here. And it looks like that's where Tornell's heading right now. While Sho is going to take an opportunity here, and he's going to kill a couple of enemies. He doesn't know that warrior ring is here within this cave, so he'll be extremely excited to find that. Checking to see, knowing now that he has access to full clear of the cave, he's going to do that. Tornell, meanwhile, he's going to head over here to the right, going to cross this river, which is going to head into the normal Fog Lamp Cave. The Fog Lamp Cave has 3 items really early on in the cave, and it's got 1 extra item that is buried super deep in the normal Fog Lamp location. So, ooh, I hear Flail guys right off the bat, but they do not have access to this dungeon yet. This is a wind block dungeon. So, as we mentioned at the very beginning here, having access to Shiren from that Thunder Sword, now that they have the Sword of Water, they can now get access to the entire field of Goa as well as Mount Hydra. So we'll see whether or not Mount Hydra has anything good, or whether they go straight for something like Oasis Cave, which is going to give them potentially a few extra items. Depends on whether or not they can get to the Power Ring location or not, or if it's just going to be the 2 items in front of the cave. But there is a free item basically right here. Just go inside, make a quick right. Boop, you're going to pick up an item. We'll see what it is. It is the Change Spell. So the Change Spell is nice because that's going to get him access to Swan. Not that Swan's going to provide him with anything right now. But the Change Spell does have other things. They can check to see what item Arillis is holding in Amazonas. Once they have killed or found the ivory statue, they're going to have access to the item from Brokahana in Goa. And it'll, you know, as I mentioned, we'll get him access to Swan. So, Change is a good find. Very nice spell. Oh, it'll also, once they have the telepathy spell, it's going to get him access to Dio's item as well. Sho, meanwhile, taking down his vampire, utilizing that warrior ring to great effect. And Tornell here is going to go and check out our friend Gozengada's ledge. This ledge is named for Gozengada when he famously missed a critical item here and searched the entire seat over before he remembered, oh, I didn't remember this location. So Gozen Ledge, holding onto an opal statue today, not a particularly necessary item for progression, but not a bad item to have, as that is basically an extra life. When they die, they will get an extra health right off the bat. You may notice that our runners here have a mummy and a bait next to their names. And that's because, jokingly in the community, you know, we have a lot of different things that people are named for. Tornell is famous for dying to mummies every time. There's mummies that come along, he's gonna get petrified, and they usually body him. Sho, meanwhile, the bait joke just has to do with the fact that he just dies a lot, you know, or used to die a lot more frequently than he does now. Sho was one of those who, when he first started joining, kind of hadn't really played the game a whole lot before, and has really come out to become a very competitive runner, you know, within the Crystalis community, so we've got a lot of little inside jokes here. Tornell continuing to make his way up Mount Hydra here. There is one more item he can get at the top. He does not have the flight spell, however, so he cannot get the Bow of Sun location. And that's another consumable. So as you can see here, when they go over a chest and it tells you that you have too many items, that tells us that that's a consumable item. Now this hallway here is full of really easy to kill enemies, so I wasn't surprised to see Tornell just rush through there and just smash them real fast. Sho, meanwhile, going to check the Carissa plant cave. He's going to be disappointed here when he realizes he does not have the sort of fire that's necessary to get into here. Tornell, meanwhile, going to make his way over to Goa Field, now that he's basically cleared everything on Mount Hydra that he had access to. His routing so far has just paid off in spades. It's not that Sho's necessarily done anything wrong, but the choices that he made early have put him behind early on. Now, if that fog lamp becomes a critical item, Sho could be, you know, could catch up real quick, as Tornell's going to have to go and fully clear Mount Saber South at some point. So, using the change spell here, Tornell is going to go and turn into a woman, and he's going to go and talk to the guards here to find out what the item Arilys wants is, and she wants a brilliant lamp, and they already have the fog lamp. And there is the flight spell. Oh, he's probably so upset. Yep, there it is. He's going to sit here and fire off that sword in disgust a bunch of times, because now he has to go all the way back up Mount Hydra there to get that last item at the top. And you hate to see it. But we, as viewers here, as commentary, as chat viewers, we love to see it. So feel free to, you know, have fun with these guys today, because, you know, they will appreciate all the jokes and anything that we can come up with here to hassle them and give them a hard time. So that is brilliant. Going all the way up the mountain, only to immediately get flight as your first item. That is awesome. That is so good. Meanwhile, Tornell, you know, utilizing that flight spell, going to go straight to Sahara. He's going to check the pyramid here. There is an item in the pyramid, as well as the dragon boss, and that'll lead him to 2 additional items, because Dragon drops an item, and then the Sage Azteca is going to give him the final item that he can get. Steve, you just missed a classic go all the way up Mount Hydra and warp out, only to immediately get flight from the first chest over on Tornell's side. So that's a brilliant trek back up Mount Hydra. Plenty of rage slashes for that one. Sho, meanwhile, is going to check out the fog lamp cave. Going to be disappointed when he realizes that he needs the Sword of Wind. Tornell thought about warping out there for a second, but nope, still has more business here. So now at this point, Sho's realizing, I'm going to have to go back somewhere that I don't remember. Hopefully he remembers Shyren quickly, because that's what where he needs to go next. And down goes Dragon. If you blinked, you probably missed him. Another consumable. Trading a Fruit of Power for a Fruit of Power. And another consumable there from our good friend Azteca. So getting a lot of these consumables out of the way early, that means that a lot more of the checks that they're going to find are going to be actually useful checks. Show, meanwhile, going to check Amazonas, thinking that maybe that's what he... Nope, actually, he's not going to check Amazonas. He is going to go and... I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do. Is he going to utilize a glitch to climb the slope here? He might be using the cross-product skip here, because I believe he fully cleared this place already. Heading into the Oasis Cave, Tornell taking a quick reset there, did not want to eat that damage from that enemy. That's a pair of Warp Boots, consumable for the first item. Oh, I know what Show's doing. He's going to go talk to Tornell at the top of the mountain. Now, I didn't happen to see the item, but if it was the Storm Bracelet he was looking for, this is a check that he can make. Will be a good one. That was a Mimic for Tornell. So that is 2 items down, nothing special. Tornell, meanwhile, Show, meanwhile, continuing to make his way up the mountain, making quick work of these enemies with that Warrior Ring. Now, a third consumable! We are now 3 for 3 on consumables or mimics here in the Oasis Cave. There is one more. Now, this iron wall that's going to be in this last room where the power ring normally is a randomized wall, which means that they've got a 50% chance of being able to clear this wall right now. It's not thunder. It's not water. I am about 3 seconds ahead of the video feed. Cool. Okay. Show checking what it was there on the top of the mountain, and it wasn't what he was looking for, but I don't know what he's doing. I think he's totally forgotten he has access to Shyren at this point. Tornell, meanwhile, making his way, continuing through the Oasis Cave. He's going in the back door of Goa at this point. Getting into Carmine's area is going to get him access to 5 chests. And if he wants to brave it, he'll also have access to Carmine, which is another 2 checks if he could actually kill him. Alright, Show, what do you got planned here? Looking forward to this one. And our good friend Kentsu wants the ivory statue. That is a vanilla trade-in. Those trade-ins are randomized. So that is actually a vanilla trade-in. Shell Flute, that's going to get him some access to the ocean. An opal statue, nothing special. Show, meanwhile, going to farm up a couple of tomatoes here. And there's a sword! Spoiler alert, that's a sword! That sword's going to blow him away. Now, the Crystalis plant as well, that's another turn-in item. Now, we know that that Sword of Wind is going to provide him access to that Fog Lamp Cave. So that is an extra item. Trading a Fruit of Power there for a Medical Herb. Show, meanwhile, heading back over to Portoa. I think Show has forgotten about the fact that he does not have access to, or that he has access to Shyren, because he seems to be kind of floundering a little bit here. Tornell utilizing a glitch to get past some statues. He's flying over the statues and getting past the barriers that way. Normally, you would need the barrier spell to get to Carmine. Carmine, fortunately, is weak to water here, so Tornell is going to crush him. He's going to be rewarded with a Key of Styxy and a Bow of Truth. Oh, baby! Look at that! So the Bow of Truth, as I mentioned before, is one of the 3 items that is necessary in order to finish this game. Show, meanwhile, remembering that he does have access to Shyren, so now he's going to start making progression again. But Tornell has quite a commanding lead at this point. As I mentioned, his routing has been just paid off immensely. So Tornell's going to go to check to see if he has access to Mado 2, because the earlier you can kill Mado 2, the better off you are, because Mado is obnoxious and probably the 2nd hardest boss in the game, if not the hardest boss in the game. And it turns out the Water Sword's going to smash that iron wall, which means we have access to Mado 2. Hopefully for our runner's sake here, he's going to be weak to thunder. Actually, who are we kidding? We hope it's weak to wind, so he has to, you know, shoot him down with no damage. So, Show there, grabbing his change spell, but he is also going to make his way up the mountain. If he goes all the way up to the top of it before he goes to get, to check out Aurelius and Amazonas, he's also going to be greatly disappointed. We hope he's weak to fire. That'd be even better, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Well, it's not thunder, it's wind. Womp, womp. Excellent. This is the second best situation next to it being fire. Show, meanwhile, going to check Goes and Ledge, going to be rewarded with an opal statue for that, although that is not the progression he is looking for. And Tornell, you are out of herbs, sir, so you have no method of healing outside of burning an opal statue. Now, I can tell you this, Mado is close to dying. He was there he goes. Mado was changed so that the amount of time that he opens up is directly proportionate to his health. So the lower on health he gets, the more frequently he's going to stop to shoot. So, making it past Mado, going to head into Mado's area. Mado's area has one iron wall that he may need to smash, and there are another 1, 2, 3, 4 items on the ground. So, he's got a lot of stuff he can check here now that he was able to get past Mado. So we'll see what we got in Mado's area, and he's going to potentially be able to take down Severa. That's a Psycho Shield. The Psycho Shield in the base game was the best shield in the game. In a small rebalancing act for the randomizer, due to the fact that it blocks, oh my god, due to the fact that it blocks all of the ranged status effects, that means paralysis and petrification, we lowered its armor value by a little bit. And that, to compensate for it, all of the shields that have, you know, straight buffs that provide some kind of resistance to something have been rebalanced, and the two strongest armor and shield in the game are the previous ones in the base game that did not have anything. So that means the ceramic suit and the battle shield are actually the two strongest armors in the game now, but they have to only be bought in stores. I missed it. It went too fast. I didn't see what it was. I'm sad. Heading up to the last check here, Tornell's going to check the top left. We'll see what he's getting. Show, meanwhile, still continuing on through, oh boy. Alright, so, speed boots, an item I have intentionally neglected talking about. So in the randomizer, the leather boots item in the base game is essentially completely and utterly useless. It makes it so you can stand in, like, spikes and poison swamp and stuff and not take damage. But because of rabbit boots jumping, because of the flight spell, it really didn't do much. So we buffed it, and now it increases your movement speed, but it no longer provides you with protection from the swamps and things. Severa here has insane defense. But she's weak to water, and with that warrior ring, Tornell's going to just absolutely smash her. She's going to go down here real quick. This is a very early full clear of Go Fortress. Pretty fantastic, honestly. Show, meanwhile, finished up all of Mount Hydra, and he's now heading to Goa Field himself. He's going to go check that Oasis Cave to find out that he gets nothing from it before he has to make his way over to Amazonas to get the Flight Spell, which is going to be his actual next method of progression. Oh, there it was. The Sword of Wind was the sword that was necessary to smash that wall. That wall is actually glitched in that it's one of the only walls in the entire game that doesn't have an explosion that goes along with it. And that's a consumable. I'm actually kind of disappointed that they got the warrior ring so early. I mean, we love seeing our runners get smashed, and it's really fun when they get trucked. And you know, I enjoy that. Now, the warrior ring basically removes that from the equation because it really makes leveling a cinch, and it makes killing enemies a breeze. So, yeah, it's kind of disappointing. That's the telepathy spell. The telepathy spell is going to allow them to talk to creatures that can't actually speak language like normal. They can talk telepathically with them. So that's going to give them access to the dwarf village when they, get a gas mask. It's also going to allow them to get the item from Dio, utilizing the change spell, to get whatever he's holding on to. And it's not the worst thing to find. It'll also potentially provide them with their access to Mount Saber North, if they can't find the prison key or because the glitch is off. So if they don't find the prison key, that's going to be their access to Mount Saber North, having to talk to the rabbit. Taking advantage of the sword charge glitch there, Tornell trying to see if he can do it, but oh boy, that's a fire weak Kelbask. But you know what? Tornell's he's gonna man mode this. He's gonna go straight for it. So in the base game, normally when you hit an enemy and you hear that tink sound, tink, 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 it doesn't do any damage. The enemy is completely immune to your attacks. Early on in the randomizer's development, as a means to an end, it was changed so that when you hit something that you can't actually damage, you still do 1 damage to it. So Tornell has opted to just fight it out with Kelbask here, 1 damage at a time. Burn that opal statue, but, if he manages to take down Kelbask here, that's a full clear and he will not have to come back. Kelbask is, he's got 2 modes of attack. Either linebacker and body you in the wall, or shoot out that sword here. When you fight him at the top of Mount Saber North, he also has a stomp attack, but he loses the stomp attack here in favor of the sword. And down goes Kelbask. So that is a fully cleared Goa Fortress. Oh my good god. That is all 3 bows. So at this point, they need to go and kill Kelbask 1, they need to go kill Mado 1, they need to go kill Sabera 1, and it's go mode. We are 30 minutes in, and we're in go mode. That's an unreal seed. I mean, we're in boss and go mode, but yeah, this has been pretty incredible. 30 minutes in, and they have everything that they need to finish the game. Now, obviously, if they're able to find the power ring, that would be great for finishing it off. If they can find, anything else, I don't know what else he could possibly be at this point. Barrier would be about the only other thing he could possibly want. But yeah, this is pretty free at this point. Okay, so Mado is not weak to wind. He's also not weak to water. He is, however, weak to thunder. So level 3 charge here. We're going to make short work of Mado 1. And this one's going to be over real quick. So, Sho, meanwhile, opting to take a little bit of a different path. He's going to go and kill Mado right off the bat here. Now, granted, Mado had nothing important. Heading over into cough that Carissa plan up to our good buddy Akahana, is rewarded with nothing special. So not having any healing here, Tornell opting to not purchase any of those medical herbs, but he doesn't really necessarily need them at this point. But you know what? If he gets into the tower and he does end up needing those medical herbs and he doesn't have them and has to leave, that'd be pretty awesome. So, taking advantage of the glitch here, he's going to do the rabbit skip, not having to go and get the leaf villagers kidnapped, nor talk to the rabbit. And that's a standard vanilla speedrun strat, if you've never seen it before. But now he's going to go straight up that mountain and head in to take down our good buddy Kelbask 1. So unless Kelbask 1 is Fire Weak and Sabera is blocked by a firewall, Tornell probably is going to be done here within 12 to 13 minutes. Like, this is crazy fast. Really easy seed. And it's a water-weak Kelbask. So Kelbask isn't going to be too difficult here. Scaling value is really low here, 26 scaling. At the end of the game here is not going to be too big of a deal. Getting his hands on that refresh spell was pretty fantastic, too. And that's another Fruit of Power. So there's another quick check here. But that's a firewall, so that's actually not a quick check. So he's going to have to go straight to Portoa now. And head off to the ocean where his final boss is going to be before he heads off to the end of the game. Sho, meanwhile, he was trying to activate the kidnapping of the villagers and be able to get access to Mount Saber North. The problem is he doesn't have telepathy. Sho needs to go to Amazonas and do a turn-in because he does not have flight yet. Does not realize that. That's what he's currently looking for. So Sho's going to head back into the Crease Plant Cave, not remembering that that is a fire or an ice wall that's in there. So he does not currently have access to that. Tornell heading, buying a pair of warp boots here. I'm not really sure what he's looking for. Because if he headed to the ocean right now, which he has access to, he could go straight to Sabera and finish this. So I'm not exactly sure what he's looking for. Maybe he wants the power ring? The only thing I could think of that he's looking for. Oh, no, you know what? This is story mode. I am sorry. He needs the fire sword. It's been a while. You know what? I even mentioned that at the beginning. So yes, he is still looking for the Sword of Fire. Sword of Fire, if you've ever played the GBC version. And that's a mimic, so that is not what he's looking for. He's going to go check the bottom part of Mount Saber South here, the lower caves, which do not have anything, as we know. But they do have a lot of robots in them, so this will be fun. Now, they do have access to the Cave of Styxy, which holds our favorite chest, the Axe Chest, as well as a number of other things. There's our Ball of Wind for him. And Sho making his way over to Aurelius, going to turn in that fog lamp, going to get his flight spell, and now he is off and running. He has found his progression, and it's time to go. Careful, Tornell. You don't want to take a death. We don't need an MXC Impact replay. Not this late. He did burn his last medical herb, though he does have the refresh spell. Unfortunately, there are no more robots from this point on, so... So the enemies are worth about 500 experience a kill at this point, which means if he did want to make a short grind, he could get to level 10 real quick. Now, that battle armor that he has is protecting him from the poison that these things do. Usually when you see an enemy and it's red, it can poison. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. Now, there are other enemies that can also do it. And there's the Fruit of Lime. Throw that on the ground, jump up and down a few times, and move on to another area. So, it looks like Tornell might actually be heading out to Evil Spirit Island at this point. Sho, meanwhile, making his way into the pyramid. Gonna be disappointed here. There's a whole bunch of consumables here in this pyramid for him. So while this is a required play, it's not the play he's looking for. He could have done this right at the end, and it would have made no difference. Tornell opting to fly out to Evil Spirit Island because he did not have the item that our good friend the boat owner is looking for, which, as you saw there, he was looking for an exotic statue. No, I'm sorry, it was an unusual statue. That means he's looking for the statue of Onyx. Taking his way through the backside there, coming up with a whole lot of nothing, and he's going to head over to Joel, which is going to be the trigger that opens up Evil Spirit Island. And we're going to get to see if he requires the Sword of Fire to be able to clear the dungeon or not. Not sure if Tornell was confused as to whether or not he needed to walk in further into the town in order to set the checkpoint, or if he was considering the item shop and then changed his mind. Sho, meanwhile, heading back through after finishing up the pyramid, he's going to head over to do his Oasis Cave and go Fortress backside now. And this is going to be a water cave, so they do have access to full clear this cave. And there is the Psycho Armor. The Psycho Armor has a little less maximum defense than the Battle Armor does, but if you stand still, it will heal you for, I believe it's 4 HP every 3 seconds? Or is it... No, not 3 seconds. 4 HP every tick. It's like so many frames. Either way, if you get poisoned by chance, you actually are able to out-heal the poison damage just by standing still with Psycho Armor. A very nice benefit of that. Waterway here has 2 checks, the Barrier Spell and the Glowing Lamp. Both nice items, because now, with that Glowing Lamp, they can repair the Golden Statue, which is going to get them the Teleport spell, so that's fantastic. And then the Barrier Spell is the one thing in the game that'll protect you from ranged attacks. So that's also fantastic. 2 great finds right there at the same, in the same room. So that's beautiful. And there is our Sword of Fire. Oh boy. So now Tornell just has to clear up Sabera here, and he's in go mode. Not even going to make another check. He's just going to set a checkpoint there. He's going to go straight for Sabera. He's got to clear out this vampire over here on the right. A quick and easy little boss. Still grinding experience. At his current scaling, 10 would be sufficient. I don't blame him for, wanting to go to 11. But he is plenty leveled for this. Careful there. Those bats are out for blood. I mean, they are vampire bats, but they're definitely out for blood. And a ball of fire immediately after finding the Sword of Fire. Interesting find. Just gonna check to see this little chest right here. Maybe it's the power ring. It's really just barely off the beaten path. But it's a Mimic! Mimic! Sho making his way to Carmine, absolutely demolishing him, because his level is considerably higher than Tornell's was when he got here, so that one ended real quick. So getting his Bow of Truth now is Sho. Another Wind Week boss. Fortunately, they have the Ball of Wind, so at least Sabera 1 here is going to go down relatively quickly. And we're going to see an immediate warp. The Flame Bracelet. Oh, man. So the Sword of Fire, the Ball of Fire, and the Flame Bracelet were all sitting in Evil Spirit Island. That is super rare to find. And our buddy Clark here is holding onto a Medical Herb, so that's a little bit of extra healing. Time to warp to Sahara. He's heading straight into the crypt at this point. Gonna probably make an in-trip here, and off he goes. He's double-checking to make sure he's got everything he needs before he goes to the end. But yeah, this was a jet seed, no question. Nice antidote there. Do not want... And there are no medical herbs here, so... There were also no Fruits of Power or Magic Rings, so he's just gonna go for it. So, Sho is, he opted not to go for the full clear of Goa. He's going to check the top of Mount Hydra. We know that this is the wrong play, but he is also possibly going to, he might go to the top of the mountain. He also could just be checking the Styxy Cave, which there are 6 checks he can make in there, so that's not a terrible play, although we know that the correct one is going full clearing Goa Fortress at this point. Tornell doing a little bit more grinding here. He's going to go to 12. That's going to make his tower pretty free at this scaling. He should be able to one-round most of the enemies there with a level 3 charge. heading into the Cave of Styxy, a new area we haven't seen yet. We do have 6 items here, and there are still a handful of things at large, so we'll see what we come up with. Tornel, meanwhile, going to 13. Very interesting choice. I'm guessing he just thinks, since I don't have the power ring, the extra level may help break some guard. Not the worst choice ever. Sho, meanwhile, finding a consumable in the first chest, and a pair of rabbit boots, and the key to prison. So that's an additional peripheral check as well. Now, the rabbit boots have a secondary function besides allowing you to jump in the randomizer. The rabbit boots allow you to charge your sword while running. If you've ever seen the TAS of this game, you will see that the TAS runs at full speed and charges their sword. Well, the rabbit boots allow you to do that. And I actually didn't see what that item was on Sho's side. Is Tornel going all the way to 14? No. Really? Okay, he's going to 14. That was a magic ring in the axe chest. So that is called the axe chest because the Axeman, who you may have seen in chat, famously skipped that chest, which contained his required item, while he was doing a big stream at PAX. Mag West. I'm sorry, not PAX. Mag West he was at the time. And that's how we got the axe chest. And there is another mimic over on Sho's side. Now, we did find Dio's Pendant. Dio's Pendant allows you to regenerate your mana. In the base game, it only regenerates your mana if you're standing still. But for the randomizer, we have allowed you to do that while walking. So it actually buffs the Dio's Pendant. If you happen to find it early, is a fantastic item to get early. Sho's going to open up the back door here using the key of prison. Gonna open up the backside here and gonna get his item. Yeah, I'm not really sure why Tornel is going all the way to 14. It's completely unnecessary. Unless, you know what? You know what might actually be going on here? There may actually have been a some kind of a behind-the-scenes unspoken rule between our runners here that they need to level all the way to 16. Or I really don't know why else they would be going all the way to 16. I really can't tell you. It's going to take a while with the scaling that they have because the experience value is going to start slowing down considerably. But that may have been an unspoken rule between the two of them that they both had to level to 16. I mean, now granted, at this point, 16 is the max level, yes. At this point, Tornel has... He basically has won this race by a country mile. Even if Sho were to go straight to Goa Fortress right now, it really isn't going to make enough of a difference to matter at this point. Sho, though, is going to make his way through the Fog Lamp Cave here. I don't think this is something we've seen yet. I don't remember anybody going here. Trading a magic ring for an antidote, not a great trade. For all we know right now, the two of these guys are sitting in a Discord call and Tornel's like, oh, I'll level to 16. That's a mimic over there on Sho's side. We love to see the mimics. If only our good buddy Gozen were here, he'd be keeping track of the number of mimics, but I guarantee you we've got 8 or 9 at this point, if not more. There's not a whole lot of checks left in the game. There's the Carissa plant chest. There is the Bow of Sun location chest. And there's a few chests on Mount Saber North that have not been checked. Every other chest, I believe, has been checked at this point, so... There's only 4 or 5 possible locations where the rest of those mimics could be. Tornel, meanwhile, continuing to level. He's going to go all the way to 16. Now you'll notice he's able to one-shot these things. Well, he's able to one-shot the little ones. He still two-shots the big guys, the archers. So here's our final room of the Fog Lamp Cave. Let's see what Sho is going to be rewarded with. That's the hazmat suit. The hazmat suit's going to provide them with access to Oak, but without the telepathy spell, there's only a single item they can get from here. Or from there, I should say. And that's the item from Stom's Hut, which is a triggered action after you have visited Oak and received its check. Sho looking to see if he has the right statue. He does not. Nope, not today. He does not want the love pendant. He lost his statue of Onyx, as I mentioned earlier. So, Sho is actually going to go opt to go to Evil Spirit Island a little before Tornell did. And that's going to lead him to his Sword of Fire, Ball of Fire, and Bracelet of Fire. And there's actually one chest that Tornell did not check while he was there that may also have the power ring. So yep, Sho making his way over to Evil Spirit Island at the moment, stopping at the inn there. Tornell, I guess, figures he's going to get the last 8,000 experience he needs to get to max level while in the crypt. Hopefully there's stuff worth killing in there. Alright, so it's time to take advantage of those bows that they received early. So those bows, the Bow of Sun and the Bow of Moon, are necessary here to destroy these two lion statues, which, as you notice, have a moon and a sun above them. So, piercing both of the statues and destroying them with the bows. Time to get access to the crypt. And there is Sho's first piece of armor. You know he's going to be happy to see that. Now, Tornell got his armors while in Goa. So Goa Fortress had, you know, both the battle armor and the Psycho Shield. A world of difference in routing separated the two of these guys, as well as Sho forgetting for a few minutes that he had access to an area that he did not. But primarily, it really was the fact that Sho chose to go left in the beginning, and Tornell went right. And going to Portoa got you the progressionary item. Going towards Cordell Plains did not pay off for Sho at all. And he ended up full clearing Mount Saber South, doing all of Cordell Plains, and basically getting nothing for it except an iron necklace. So yeah, that was the big thing that set him behind to begin with. And he also, you know, like I mentioned, forgot that he had access to Shyren, because the first item they found was the Sword of Thunder. So I can see how that's easy to do. Meanwhile, Tornell here, activating the final boss. Usually you activate the correct, you know, pattern on him by running into his wings, but Tornell deciding, nah, watch me smack into his feet. So getting a immediate run to the bottom of the screen, he's going to get a long laser pattern here. He should be able to get 2 full thunderstorms in for this. And with any luck, that'll completely destroy him. Nope, not today. It's going to take a little bit more damage than that. Dragon is only vulnerable when he's shooting off his lasers and he opens up his core. Wow, getting an immediate secondary dash to the bottom of the screen. He's going to get another long laser pattern. We're going to see a dead Dragon 2 here in just a moment. Boom, down he goes. And it's time for hype music. Get your hype music. Any kind of hype music emotes you got in chat, throw them in. Now's the time, because if we head into the tower here, it's one of the best songs in the entire game. Oh, hey, check that out. The item that Tornell skipped over on the left side turned out to be a mirrored shield, which is Sho's first shield, but you know what? Tornell made the right choice by skipping it. And that's kind of been the story of this entire seed. Tornell's routing just really was, he made all of the right choices. It's not that Sho made, terrible choices. It's that every single choice Tornell made led to something that gave him progression. Whereas Sho made, what would be considered to be good plays. They just didn't pan out. And, outside of forgetting about Shyren, it's not like he played poorly. He just didn't end up making the right call. And, so that's what really put him behind in this one. So, once he's done with Samara here, I believe he still has to do Telbest 1 and the rest of Goa Fortress. And then he'll be off and running. So I'm going to shut up for a little bit and let you enjoy the music. So I guess I should explain how the tower works. So in the tower, you kill the bronze robots, and then the bronze robots cause the white robots to spawn outside of in those doorways that you see. When you kill all the white robots on a floor, the stairs appear to the next floor. Each one of the floors is basically considered a map. So when you head up the escalators, if there's enemies on screen, they will despawn, and then you can move on to the next bout. Tornell making his way in to talk to Mezzy. He's going to take all 4 of these swords here, and she is going to forge the ultimate sword, Crystalis, and it's time for the game's final boss. Now, get your GGs ready in chat, because you got about 20 seconds, I would say, from now, before this one's donezo. And we're going to be focusing all of our attention over on Sho's side, as he's going to use his Statue of Gold here to pick up his teleport spell. Thanks, Dinah, for not opening your eyes very regularly. Good stuff. GG's to Tornell. Screen's going to go black, and he is done. Congratulations, sir. Absolute jet seed, destroying that run. 56 minutes is a fantastic time. Over on Sho's side, we got a nice little graphical fun. If you happen to shoot off a projectile on the same frame where a animation of some kind takes place, it will just continuously fire your projectile like that. So that's why Sho was blasting through all those things. Oh no, this is interesting. Sho is going to opt to go into Mount Saber South here, and he's going to, Mount Saber North here, and he's going to make the rest of these checks. This is interesting because he has everything he needs to be able to clear out, the rest of the game. He's just choosing to go and make some addition. Oh, he's going to kill Telbest real quick. My apologies. That's actually a good call, instead of going in the other way. Utilizing that barrier spell there to great effect. He does not have the defenses that Tornell did, but having no problems with it either way. And there's a tornado bracelet. A nice thing to find, but not necessary for this seed at all. Oh, get ready for it. Here it comes, guys. Jeff Peters! As is customary at the end of every single run, you gotta call out the Jeff Peters. Tornell, dude, you crushed it. That was pretty fantastic, man.
Yeah, had we not had that agreement to go level 16, it would have been super fast.
Okay, I had a feeling that's what was going on. I was sitting there and we're looking at this going, I have no idea why he's grinding. I thought, at first, okay, he's going to go for an extra level here simply so that, because he doesn't have the power ring, he wants to make sure he can get it, get a little extra damage. Then you went to 11, and I was like, okay. Then you went to 12, and it was like, all right. He's going to 13? Maybe he just thinks he needs the power ring. And then I was like, no, you know what? I guarantee you there was some kind of unspoken agreement between the two of these guys where they both needed to level to max.
Once I hoping it would confuse you.
Yeah, you got me for a second, but you know, this ain't my first rodeo, pal. You should know that. But yeah, okay. So let's go through this one a little bit here. So, at the very beginning of the game, you went right after coming back from Chiron and went straight to the waterfall cave. Show decided to go left, and there was nothing in Cordell Plains. He went and full cleared all of Mount Saber South. He did Cordell Plains, and he got a fog lamp and an iron necklace. Now, the fog lamp ended up being necessary to get your flight spell, but it didn't do anything for him early. Right. And so basically what ended up happening is that he's kind of last locationed just about every major progressionary item. On top of that, he also, I'm pretty sure, derped the the going back to Chiron, because he kind of wandered around to places he'd already been to a couple of times and was still looking to figure out what it was he was doing. So that was kind of an oops on his part, but you know what? He's making a few checks that you did not do, because obviously at this point you were already in go mode.
Yeah.
Also, how do you like that sword of fire, ball of fire, flame bracelet all on Evil Spirit Island?
That was very convenient, yeah.
Right? Pretty fantastic.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Steve, on that one. In case you guys did not know, Steve Hacks, who is in chat, is the programmer of this randomizer. And if you are interested in going and seeing the randomizer in action, you can go to this website. If I could spell. Show does not have working music. That is unfortunate.
Oh, I was wondering.
You want to just like reset your game and go like out onto the valley of wind,
yeah.
So we have some music. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. We'll get some music going here.
Or, you know, we'll have to get our Crystalis again.
Yeah. Make sure we get that Crystalis. That's very important. Don't let us go, Mezia.
Guess that music's okay.
Did I spell that wrong? No, I did not. We're good. Oh, yeah, hype music. That's the best. Yeah, Axe, you did catch the end of it. You caught the end of Show's run. Yeah, Tornell basically, I mean, every single play that he made paid off. Like, uncanny. Oh, hey, this is where Show has decided to grind. Fantastic monsters. Medusas are in the pool of enemies that are worth the maximum amount of experience that you're going to be able to get. So I'm not at all surprised to see him do this, since, you know, they do have an unspoken agreement to go all the way to level 16.
And I actually remembered that there were Medusas in Carissa Plant Cave, but I'd already dropped my warp boots, and I didn't want to walk somewhere to get warp boots again.
Well, I mean, you were in Evil Spirit Island. You know, you could have gone and got teleport.
You know what? I could not remember what was on Angry Sea. I was like, well, I guess that's not important then.
Well, it was pretty nice. The teleport spell. Good
yeah,
thing
that
to have.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have everything I need at this point, so why bother?
Yeah, I'm at this point. The power ring really can only be in one of two locations. It's either somewhere in Oak, or it's in the Crease Plant Cave. Those are the only two areas that have not been seen.
I guess Show went to Stixie.
Yes, he did. He very went to Stixie. He did get rabbit boots from there and a couple of magic rings, but nothing else. Oh, you know what? It could be on the top of the mountain too. Nobody checked the top of it.
Yeah.
How'd you like that, by the way? It's like, hey, let me go all the way up this mountain and then go and get flight immediately after.
Yeah, it was great. Like, oh well.
Yeah, no, Saber South has not been checked. Tornell and Stom's hut has not been checked. The items from Oak have not been checked. The giant insect has not been checked, and the Bow of Sun location has not been checked. Everywhere else has been checked at this point.
Stone Akahana?
No, Flute of Lime has not been found. You are correct. Stone Akahana has not been checked. I believe that's everything, though. I mentioned Crystalis as well. 2 items. So there's a handful of locations of Power Ring still.
Did he check the actual Power Ring spot?
Yep.
Okay. I couldn't get to it.
Yeah, he went later than you.
Yeah,
The Fruit of Lime was found. Yes, indeed it was.
Yeah, that was really disappointing on Saber South. I was like, well, this is a wasted trip.
Yeah, Saber South had just bunk. It had nothing.
I have to say, though, this is probably the most unmatric seed I've ever had.
No, you know, you know what it is? It's that the program hasn't felt my touch for a while. So it didn't realize, you know, who it was that was, you know, rolling the seed. I haven't abused it lately. Let's go with that.
Just trying to win you back.
No, Harry. I'll be back. I've just been very hooked on Darkest Dungeon and Vermintide. I will be. Hey, show. This wall. He wasn't far enough up to actually be able to blast the wall.
Oh no, he pulled a K-Foul.
He did take a few flame blasts to the face, though. That was pretty hot.
K-Foul did that one time where he couldn't figure out where to go, and it's because he didn't get close enough to that wall.
Awesome. Yeah, the actual, like, tile location is towards the back of the wall. Not at the front of it, like the other walls are. Most of the other walls are 1 tile up. That one's at, like, the back.
I think the Power Ring one's in the back, too.
Yeah, they're all the same. Iron walls are all the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't really need to be moved. I mean, that's just a... I mean, in K-Foul's case, you know, he has an excuse for doing that. He's usually a few drinks deep by the time he gets to that point in the run. Uh-oh, too bad you got the right sword equipped. This one's gonna be over quick. Oh no, this was a water boss, wasn't it? Yeah, this was a water
I think
boss.
It was fire, because that's the only sword I didn't have at that point.
That's right, this is the one you tanked. I remember
Yeah.
now. Oh my god, but he's got the power ring. I don't know where he found that. I missed that somewhere. I don't know where he picked that one up, but you know what, pal? That's gonna make real quick work of that. Good night, these bosses. However, the next 2 bosses, well, Sabera's weak to water, does not have the blizzard bracelet. Yeah, I have no idea where he picked it up.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I guess the only place... Oh, you know who else didn't get checked? Neither of Kensu's got checked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kensu's didn't get checked. Swan or Joel.
What about Slime Kensu?
Nope, that one didn't get checked either. There was actually quite a few locations left. Oh, you know what? He must have gotten it on... He must have gotten it on Saber South. Or Saber North.
Yeah,
because I didn't see what was in the chest in the hallway. I didn't see what was in the chest in the hallway with the Medusas. So it's very possible it was there. Or in the very first chest at the bottom. You think you saw him get it when Tornell was grinding. Well, then I got nothing unless it was in Foglamp? Because I don't think you ever went to Foglamp.
No, I checked it, but I couldn't go.
Yeah, it was wind. You checked it early. I don't know if you ever went back, though.
No, I didn't. Didn't have to revisit much, really.
No, this was pretty straightforward, especially the route you took through it. Just bam. Blitzed it.
Yeah, I had another seed last night, felt really fast too, and it was 1 hour 10. This one was super fast.
Yeah, this would have been a like an easy 50-minute seed if you didn't grind.
It's really tricky to figure out where the best place to grind is sometimes.
Well, really, it's about the enemies in which you're looking for, and you know, the grind locations are pretty static. It's like the bridge hallway before, you know, between Mado and Carmine. It's the first room heading to, you know, the desert where you grinded. There's the place at the top of Mount Hydra. You know, that room's got a ton of stuff in it. This is a Wind Week boss, as I recall.
Yes, he was. I just had level 1. Since Matra gave us the Warrior Ring really early, it wasn't a big deal.
We were really hoping it was going to be fire.
I bet you were.
Oh, yeah, no, we were... At first, I was like, God, I hope it's wind, so he has to fight it with level 1, and then Dragon Dark goes, I hope it's fire, so they have to come back.
Oh, yeah, he will miss the speed boots because they were in Mado's area.
They were on the left side of Mado's area, but it's not going to matter. I mean, he's basically done at this point anyway. All he's got to do is warp out at this point. He's finished everything else. So he's going to head to the end of the game, and he should be done here at about 118 or so, I would guess. 118, 119?
Yeah, it's crazy how easy the tower is when you're level 16.
Oh, yeah. Imagine it's 16 with a power ring and only 36 scaling. The max scaling, yeah, the max scaling being 47 is meaning that they've got considerably lower HP and defense than they would, you know, if they were at max scaling. And because this seed didn't require them to hit half the game, you know, here's the deal. Sho checked like 4 more total locations than you did, and he's got 1 more scaling.
Crystalis is one of those, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, so he'll have 2. He'll have 2 more scaling than you. But what I'm pointing out is that he made a ton of extra checks and got nothing for it. Nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. He basically, I mean, outside of the power ring, none of his other checks paid off at all. I mean, granted, you got the speed boots and the battle armor and the psycho shield that he didn't get. So those are 3 items, and he picked up 3 other items, including the power ring. But yeah, overall, his checks really, you know, did not pan out. He got rabbit boots.
Yeah, just how it goes sometimes, I guess.
Right?
We've all been there.
You know, like I mentioned before, Sho's choices were not bad choices. It's not like he was making the wrong plays. It's just that the way in which the seed played out, they were the wrong choices. But from, like, you know, oh, I'm going to this area to make these checks based on what I have available to me, he didn't make bad plays. They just didn't work. They didn't pan out. He didn't, like I mentioned, he did not play poorly. Also, too, the stupid Warrior Ring meant that you guys were so over-leveled that I didn't even have to worry about, you know, I didn't really get to you know, shrug you guys much. No, actually, Mummy... Mummy and Bait. Alright, so Mummy is because Tornell... I was actually going to call... I was trying to tell SVJ to put Tornell's as Mummy Bait, but there wasn't enough room for it. And it's because Tornell finds a mummy and gets bodied, petrified and bodied every time. Never fails, except today.
Except for when we didn't see any.
Yeah, there were no mummies anywhere. But Sho also, you know, used to face tank a lot of enemies, so he was making the joke that he was the bait. So that's why they became Mummy and Bait. That's just a little fun we were having today.
I usually go for Toa first because there's no guarantee you can get behind the wall at Zebu anyway. you might not have the right sword. You're guaranteed at least one check in Portoa, plus likely Waterfall Cave. At least in these flags.
See, here in the Crystalis community, there are so many like kind of inside jokes and locations named after people and all kinds of stupid little things that we have amongst ourselves that, you know, if we're not having a lot of fun with each other, it's also a lot less interesting. Yeah, the way that the flags here work was that, you know, a lot of stuff was active. There were a lot of potentials. Fortunately, really, it was kind of boring in the fact that none of that stuff was required. No required sword charge glitches, no real required, you know, actual glitches at all, considering that you didn't have to do rabbit skip, you didn't have to do teleport skip. None of that stuff was necessary. None of it was. So,
I did
yeah.
do rabbit skip.
Yeah, but it wasn't necessary. Who doesn't have a chest named after him? There's not many.
I don't have a chest named after me.
Sure you do. It's the one in your inventory. It's the one you carry on your belt that holds all your stuff. That is your chest. Steve, we'll find a chest for you. Don't worry. It's not hard. All right, Sho, having cleared out the tower with absolute ease, makes his way into Dinah. He's going to crush Dinah as well. This one's going to be over here in about 10 seconds or so. Bagoom. Down goes Dinah. And get ready, SVJ. Time. There it is. Sho finishing up with a sub 116 time. You know, not a bad run, all things considered. You know, both of our runners today played very well. No deaths. Extraordinarily disappointing that there were no deaths. And, you know, thanks to that stupid warrior ring, you know, it made combat a non-factor. But Rip Show, I didn't notice his name was Rip Show. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, 115 is still a decent time normally in these seeds.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 56 is the fastest I've had, period, in all my practice runs and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when we were running the tournament, we set a 2-hour time limit for these things, just in case. And, you know, Dragon Dark and Axeman just blew through them like they were barely even there. You know, so high-level runners in this game can really make short work of these things. Let's put it to you like this. The actual vanilla speedrun, which requires you to go and hit all those locations, takes you a good 55 minutes to an hour for a high-end speedrunner. This is a randomizer where they don't know what they're looking for and what they need to do, and they're still getting, you know, hourish times. That's pretty fantastic. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't know if Sho plans on jumping in just to say hello for
He's
a minute
here,
or not.
GG,
oh, yeah? Sho, what are you doing?
Hello.
So what's up, man?
I'm forgetting about. Oh yeah, I could go to Chiron. I mean.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's what happened. I was pretty sure that that there was a, you know, a bit of a derp there in the middle. When I noticed you were going back and checking locations you had already been, I was like, oh man, he's forgotten he has access to Chiron.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I have Thunder. Oh, I was like, oh, that's right, I have Chiron. And once I found the Sword of Water, I was like, oh yeah, I guess I can go back there.
Yep, sure could.
I mean, this is probably my fastest time on these flags, which is really kind of funny.
That's
GG's
good,
Tornado, man.
GG's.
That seed was really it was set up to be a jet seed, and Tornell made, I should say, every choice Tornell made turned out to be the right one. You know, at the beginning he went to Portoa and straight to the Waterfall Cave. That got him to Windmill Cave. Windmill Cave got him, you know, everything that he needed to go to, because I think water was in the Windmill Cave. That got him access to Chiron. He went from there, got changed, went up and did the mountain, immediately ended up over at Amazonas to be able to get Flight. After he got Flight, he went straight into Goa, full cleared Goa at like 16 scaling.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, no, and also you missed the speed boots while you were sprinting through Mado's area. They were in the top left chest in the left hallway.
Oh.
So Tornell had those because he did that really early too, and he was making all the checks in there, so he got the speed boots really early.
Yeah, I
Also
killed me
in-
too.
Yeah, also in Mado's area were the battle armor and psycho shield, so he managed to pick up the battle armor, the psycho shield, and the speed boots in like 4 chests.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right. I think there was a medical herb that was sprinkled in between those 3. Yeah, so either way, I mean, you know, your choice to go to Cordell Plains early, while not a bad choice, didn't pan out. You opted not go into Goa Fortress until the very end of the game. Again, not a terrible choice, but wasn't the right move, you know, because Goa Fortress early was really the play that just turned this into a jet seed.
Yeah. I mean, with the Bow Up Sun being there, it's like, oh, well, I'm go mode now.
Yep.
That was funny. Just the Bow Moon really early, and then Truth wasn't too far behind, and then it was all a matter of finding that last one.
Right.
It definitely didn't feel like a magic seed.
Yeah.
No, I was disappointed. That was really weak for my standards.
Yeah, definitely a lot faster than I was expecting it to be. I've been having some real troll practices where, like, just last location or Deo has something.
You don't talk about Dio anymore.
No. I was contemplating going back and, you know, visiting Tornell since I found the, you know, flame bracelet, but glad I didn't do that.
Yeah, that wouldn't matter. Where did you find the power ring? No one saw it.
Power ring was... Shoot.
Was it Fog Lamp Cave?
It may have been the last chest in Foglamp Cave or something like that.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
none of us saw where it was.
But I mean, that was super helpful, you know, at the end because at 36 scaling, you know, Dragon 2 goes down to 1, and then all the other things in the tower just go down to 1, you know, lightning storm.
Yeah, it's level 16 with a power ring. Forget it. Game's done. Put a fork in it.
Yeah. So, but Warrior Ring really early, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him pick up the Warrior Ring. It's like, oh baby, he got the Warrior Ring. Oh man, they got the Warrior Ring.
made it pretty easy.
Yep. Well, anything else to say before we kick this one off for the intermission?
Oh no, I was, you know, thanks Randomania for accepting this run. GG's Tornell, you know,
GG's.
and looking forward to more. So yeah, thank you.
Saint Von Jester, thank you for stepping up and doing the restream tonight. Appreciate that. That was pretty awesome of you there. You are now obligated to go and play it. Do it.
Do it. As someone from where I met SVJ and in the Final Fantasy community, just do it. It's a lot of fun.
Just do it.
I was talking to Saint Von Jester. He's actually the restreamer here today. You know, a lot of Randomania here is being restreamed by individuals, especially with relation to any time that there's a race. So those of us that were involved in these races were responsible for, you know, being able to get our own restreamers and things like that. Oh, Saint Von Jester, they cannot hear you in the restream. So yes, you heard me talking to Saint Von Jester, and then Saint Von Jester was responding, but none of you guys were able to hear it.
Yeah, that was my fault. I'm sorry, guys. So let's try that again. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen Crystalis at all. So my community told me I needed to play this game. So yeah, definitely, if you guys have not played this, in chat, or if this is your first time kind of watching this, I had a blast. Like I said, Matrick was going off on doing all the things he needed to do, and yeah, thank you, Tornell and Show, for having me. Again, Show, thank you for letting me restream this, man. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to playing it myself. So yeah, thank you guys again.
If you didn't see the website before, there is we have the CrystallisRandomizer.com, which is the online portal for getting, for generating seeds and being able to use the randomizer. We also have a Discord. The Discord's got quite a few people in it. It hasn't been as active of late since the tournament ended, primarily because everybody kind of wound down, and the world's in a less than amazing state, so some people have been, not as active, but at the end of the day, all of us here, are around to be able to help anybody. If you're looking for a race, you can just go pop in there. If you need help from people, or you want somebody to, render assistance, there's plenty of people around that'll definitely get you into it and help you through it. Because it can be a confusing game when you're first learning it, but it's an extremely rewarding experience to get through and super fun. So with that in mind, guys, I am Matrick. For our runners today, Sho, Fukamachi, and Tornell 357. Go and follow our runners. And Dane Von Jester, once again, thank you very much. And we're out of here.